Morning and welcome back to another video, and today is the 5 best transmog farms part 2. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Now, as it seems, transmog farms, they wide in quite a variety of different ones. Now this can be for expansion, this one can be for pretty much different types of aesthetics that you can have, or appearances, so to speak. And we are going to be covering some right now. So that being the case, let's get into number 1 is BOTANICA. BOTANICA is one of the best BC transmog farming location dungeons, and that is because you can literally run the entire instance and then just non-stop. It's a non-stop farm because it is a very linear based farm, and I'll tell you why. This is where you would run in and you follow it all the way around, and then right at the end of the dungeon there is a portal that will take you straight to the beginning again, and that is outside of the dungeon, so you can instantly just run it as you would with Muradon. Go all the way, instead of a crescent moon, you go pretty much follow it all the way to the end, and then you can just jump back out of the instance, reset, go straight back to the beginning again. It's really easy to farm is what I'm trying to say. Now this gives you the ability in order to get a hold of mass amounts of either BC recipes and or the specific thing is a transmog. Now this is a high level dungeon, and this was one of the max level dungeons that you could actually use back in the day. Now this has a chance of dropping all of a wide variety of different types of transmog items for the BC content. To be more precise, it has a high chance of dropping BOE blues and some epics, which you can then sell on the auction house as well. So that would be things like the Blade of Wizardry. It has a chance of dropping that. It has a chance of dropping quite a general wide variety of different types of transmog items you can then sell on the auction house. Now these items do vary in price from server to server, but the majority of the time the sell rates on these types of transmog items is from anywhere from around about 0.03 to 0.05, and that is a brilliant way to start off this list. Now coming in at number 2, we have the HELLFIRE Ramparts. Once again, we're jumping into a BC dungeon, and that is because HELLFIRE Ramparts is pretty damn awesome. It has a best of both worlds thing to it, as it was mainly used for the beginning of the expansion. It allows level 58s to go in, and you can get level 58 stuff from there. That means you have a chance of getting some of the old transmog items, so the high-end ones from Classic, and also some of the transmog items from actual BC. So this has a best of both worlds, but you never know what you're really going to get with this one. This one is, if you really want to test yourself and see which types of transmog items you are going to get a hold of, sometimes you can get really lucky with this farm, sometimes you're not going to get as lucky. But the great thing is you do get a hell of a lot of rune cloth, so you can also turn those into bracers and disenchant them for old world enchanting mats. And also, along with the transmog items in general, you will get quite a hefty amount of these. Like, you can do about 10 runs and get a hell of a lot of greens. It's basically the Zul'Farrak when it comes to BC farms. It drops so many greens, that means you've got more chances of getting some high-end, high-ticket, sell rates transmog items you can then sell on the auction house. Now coming in at number 3, and this one has been covered a few times by a few other gold makers, and this one is by far one of the best ones. Now, if you haven't seen it, I would urge you to see this. And Student did a video on the Mana Tombs a while back. This is the one we're covering now, and the Mana Tombs is definitely a great transmog farming location. Now, when you are doing the Mana Tombs, this is a very easy way in order to navigate, as well as being able to do the 10 runs, even without like a speed set or anything. This one drops a high density of green and also blue BOE items, as well as it gives you a chance of getting hold of those BC recipes we love oh so dear. But that being the case, this one is by far one of the best BC transmog dungeon farms going. The sell rates on these are still around about 0.02 to 0.05 in sell rate variance, and these ones are the sell rates that you're trying to look for when you're actually pricing your transmog to sell on the auction house. Now, you could take the other approach by just selling everything, but I like to go with a bit more of a conservative route because I don't want to have mass amounts of stuff on my auction house. I want to be able to sell stuff that I know it's going to sell relatively fast, so I aim for those points. But that being the case, guys, that is the Mana Tombs at number 3. Coming in at number 4, and by far is an amazing transmog farm, and that is the Iron Docks. Now, the Iron Docks has been covered tons of times. I've covered it, a few other people have covered it. I've lost count on the amount of people who have covered it, and that is because it works. The Iron Docks is located within Gorgrond in Warlords of Draenor, or just specifically, or to be more precise, Draenor. The Iron Docks is just an open world farm, so you can farm as many times as you want, and the farming route is pretty dead simple. It's just follow the dock round in a U shape. It's really not that hard to even follow. You have the things of note that you can actually get from this particular farm, and that is BOE epics. The greens, however, do sell for a decent amount due to the fact of their uniqueness when it comes to selling those on the auction house, and their sell rates do reflect this. The other thing of note that you want to be more attentive to, and that is the BOE epics. You have a chance of getting BOE epics in this area, and these BOE epics, such as the Bulwark. The Bulwark usually goes from anywhere from around about 70,000 gold to 200,000. If you remember, last year I managed to sell mine for, I think it was like 150,000 gold, and that sold within a week. And yeah, the Iron Docks is a great transmog farming location, and on average, I know some people say like it can sell for like, you can get like 5, 6, 7, 8 epics in an hour. It kind of. It's usually about two. It's roughly around about 2 BOE epics per hour. Yeah, it's about that. But that being the case, those BOE epics are wide variety and they're unique. So that means you can then sell those on the auction house and trade those appearances for gold. And it is a great farming location for any transmog farmer wanting to step up their game. And I hope that you guys get the Bulwark, because that sells for a hell of a lot of gold. But that being the case, let's move on to number 5. Coming in at the end of our list when it comes to our number 5 spot for transmog farming, and that is the Isle of Thunder. Now, to be more precise, this is the route. What you're going to be wanting to do is run around in a circle type motion-esque motion. It's more of a square, so to speak, but you'll be running around and just killing mob after mob after mob of the trolls and the Mogu. These guys are in the square shape motion on the Isle of Thunder, and you're just going to be wanting to completely rinse them every single time. Now, preferably, I like to use a monk for this farming location, but you can pick whatever you like. You can pick demon hunter, druid, doesn't matter. As long as you can kill them fast and effectively, once you've done your lap, they should have all respawned, and that is a brilliant way to keep going. It's a never-ending cycle of death and despair, but you get gold from transmog through this. And you also, along with this has a load of unique Zandalari items, as well as some unique Mogu inspired items, which you can then sell on the auction house. And these ones sell for a pretty penny, so to speak. The gold for these is pretty damn awesome, and they have a great sell rate at the moment. This is due to the fact of BFA, and a lot of people who roll Zandalari want to go for the old school Zandalari appearances, so they're obviously going to go to the Isle of Thunder's ones and buy those. For the Mogu stuff, they're kind of a hit or miss type thing, but that's more or less to round out the actual farm in a never-ending cycle of mob looting, and that is the main method that you want to be doing. You want to take out as many mobs as possible, so you've got a constant flow of transmog coming in, as well as motes of harmony. Now, I know motes of harmony and spirits of harmony at the moment have dropped significantly ever since the Veil of Eternal Blossoms was corrupted by Ninzoth, and yeah, either way, you still get a high amount of Spirit of Harmony and Motes of Harmony as well. And that is because you're going to be taking out so many more mobs. But that being the case, guys, what do you think of the 5 best transmog farms part 2? These ones are basically my top picks for other different transmog farms. So if you want to get the Blade of Wizardry, I would highly recommend just farming Botanica like a crazy man. If you want to try and get hold of the BOE Bulwark, it's the Iron Docks. And all around, these transmog farms are more specific farming locations. So if you want to get the best of both worlds, so some BC items, some vanilla items, you do the Ramparts. With Mana Tombs, you're going to be going out specifically for the high-end ticket items. And also with the Isle of Thunder one, you're specifically going for the troll ones. So that'd be the Zandalari-esque items. But aside from that, guys, that being the case, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you on the next video, which will be tomorrow.